This is my synthesis narrative, and it's basically an evolution of my writing style from fifth grade when I wrote my first poem to now. So I chose each story because I think that each one has shaped my writing in some way. So I'll start with fifth grade. My teacher assigned a poem, and I wrote about it because it was the first time that I ever learned that I could write, that I was creative, that I liked to write. So from there, I go to when I was in middle school, I learned how to play the guitar, and I continued to write poems and turn them into songs. I was really into songwriting, and I wanted to be a musician, and I was just all about writing songs about everything, every emotion I felt, every little thing that happened to me. So from there, I went on to here I talk about I filled lots of notebooks, but it was time for me to, kind of grow up, and college was coming, so I had to write my college essay. So here I talk about my college essay, which I actually didn't include in my first draft, but I realized that it was a really important part of shaping my editing skills and my writing skills, so I included it in my second draft. I talk about a teacher that I had, Mr. Heffernan, who, taught me that editing was a great thing, that I had to go back and edit things because, things were never finished. Like, you could always work harder, you could always fix some piece of writing. So that's what I wrote about here. Writing is never finished. And then I go on to when I get to college, which is right around here. I get to college, I'm in the Williams building and pondering majoring in English, and I think it's just, I'm going to be poor. Everyone says that, the English majors never never get published, and it's really hard, and everybody wants to do it. So I was really worried about that, so I thought I should include that just because it was a big decision in my, writing career. But then I found myself, not taking writing classes, and I thought that it sucked. Like, I wanted to write, and when I was not taking any writing classes, I realized I needed to write. So I declared editing, writing, and media as my major, and then I found myself taking article and essay technique, which was like the worst class. Like, I wish, like, when I enrolled, I wish I'd never taken it because of my teacher. She was just horrible. But in the end, she ended up being really great because she taught me some really great tools. Basically, it was the first time anyone's ever told me that my writing sucked. So there were things that happened that, personal things like with my boyfriend and stuff that just, were falling apart in my personal life, and it really affected my work. But my teacher was kind of like, I don't care what's going on in your personal life. You can't just change your mind about your topic. You can't change, because a publisher is not going to care. So I sucked it up and brought her my drafts. And, she told me that I wrote with too many cliches and that I had to fix things. And I realized I did. I wrote things like really and a lot. And she really, as mean as she was, she really helped me fix things. So she told me, she told me to physically cut my paper up and with scissors and lay everything out and help myself organize things. She taught me how to get rid of the cliches, and it just really, really helped me. So after all of that, I got a letter of recommendation from her so that I could go to Spain, where I learned that I loved travel writing. So I kept a blog there. That was, the first time I was writing for pleasure in a long time. And then I realized that I could possibly make a career out of it. So when I came back, I enrolled in a class called Advanced Writing and Editing, which I wanted to talk about a little bit more, but I kind of ran out of time. So I just kind of mentioned that I learned about Anthony Bourdain in that class, and I fell in love with his style. and I wanted to end up being a writer like him because he just doesn't care what people think, and I really admire that. So I talk about at the end, I just kind of end with that I'm not really afraid anymore of things happening, or things not happening for me because I'm an English major, because I realize that there's so many things an English major can do, and I'm really happy to be one, and I'm not going to let go of a dream for fear of failure, because I understand the ups and downs that go with molding a great writer. So I just wanted to mention that I have read shitty first drafts before, and I transferred it into many of my other classes. For this particular essay, I wrote a shitty first draft, and it didn't really include everything I wanted to say, but I got lots of things out and took things out in my second draft, so I think that really helps. And yeah, so I think, and also another form of transfer is when, my teacher taught me those tools of cutting up my paper, of editing, my other teacher saying that writing's never finished. Those are things I always take with me to other classes, so I think transfer is really important. And I'm really glad I got to write this paper because it helped me realize a lot of things about the way my writing has been shaped that I didn't really realize before, but that I always used. It was kind of a subconscious thing. So that's it. Thank you.